It is, God, I can't keep track of the damn days. It's Thursday. It's Thursday. First, an update, then I'll tell you why I'm wearing a weirdly metallic lip color on. And then we'll get into today's tarot. You'll notice I did not do a video for yesterday's tarot. I did still do a blog post. I still did my tarot and oracle draws and such. I just did not make a video. So what I have decided to do, my hair just is looking weird today. What I have decided to do is on the 2 days a week my husband is off, and those do vary from week to week, so it will not be the same days. On those days I'm not going to do a video. That way it's like my day off basically. I will still do my tarot draws and things because I do that for my own personal development, and I already type them up to put them on Instagram and such, so I will also make a blog post with it. There just will not be a video on those days, the days my husband is off work. So that's the update. Now, why am I wearing bronze lipstick? Well, that's an interesting answer. Fairly recently, like in the last few months, I have gotten the habit of biting my lips a lot. Sometimes it's because they're dry, and then I can, go do like a sugar scrub on my lips or something and exfoliate them a bit and I'll be cool. But sometimes it's not for a legitimate reason, if you can call that legitimate. Sometimes it's more like anxiety or habit or nerves or something like that. What I have found is I can trick myself into not biting my lips by putting lip color on. Pretty much any lip color will do. Liquid lips tend to work a little better just because I feel them slightly more, but all of the ones I have are actually very comfortable. Like, my lips don't feel dry or anything right now. So basically I'm wearing this so I don't bite my lips. And I thought, if I'm gonna wear one, let's wear a fun one today. I wore my gray one the other day, so today I'm wearing the metallic one I have. This is the only metallic one I have. In case you're really curious, I will tell you the color name and such. I just gotta pull it up. It's from ColourPop. Hang on. Are you hanging on? Okay, which one are you? Salt. It actually doesn't exist anymore. It was, I ordered this back in November. I ordered quite a few things from ColourPop back in November, and most of them were things that were on sale because they were ending. That was it. Limited quantities left, all of that. So it cost me $4.80. Not that their normal prices are expensive, because they're not. The ultra metallic lips, which is what it is, are $6 full price. But I got this one for $4.80 because it was going out. It was the same buy. But it's called Salt. Alright, anyway, now that we've got that out of the way and we know why my lips are bronzy, let's get to the Daily Tarot, shall we? It's what you're here for, probably. Alright. Also, I didn't feel like putting on makeup today. I just feel like it looks weird that I have only lip color on, but seriously, when I'm wearing it, I don't bite my lips. So when I go through periods of where I notice I'm biting my lips a lot, I'll start wearing a lip color every day. And it keeps me from biting them, so, works for me. Seriously, my hair on this side is doing weird things. Alright, I've told you guys before, I handle my tarot videos much like a vlog because that's what I love doing. I love vlogging. I have a vlog channel on YouTube as well. So it's not going to be a big professional, I have all my things around me and there's incense burning, although there is. Nope, it burned out. It's just done. It's done. It's done. The little stick that was right there on my bast one is done. There's a candle burning now. Um, you know, it's not gonna be like really uptight and like, not that I think any of the tarot people I watch on YouTube are uptight, but I'm just gonna be me. And I treat this like a vlog. So if I mess up, you're gonna see it. If I'm looking a little off today, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see the real me. I think that's a good thing though, because especially if you're considering getting a reading from me, which I would love to do for you. I think a lot of times, especially when you're getting a reading by email, it can feel impersonal. Like you don't really know that person, you don't really know if you can trust them. So by me like really being myself on the videos that you guys can watch, I think it would help you to feel more comfortable with me because you have a better idea of who I am. Even though you're not going to meet me in person for the reading, you still have a pretty good idea of who I am. So that's my thoughts there. Let's get started, shall we? I've talked enough. Alright, Whimsical Arcane Challenge. Our keyword for today is Master. And I drew the Four of Swords from the Epic Tarot. Now, I've talked before about how the Epic Tarot is quite a bit different than traditional Rider-Waite. This is one of the cards, though, that has pretty much the same meaning. The Four of Swords in a traditional Rider-Waite will have someone like laying on like a bed or like a slab. And there'll be, usually there's like 3 swords on the wall above them and then like 1 on the bed or something like that, like on the side of it. I don't know. I don't have a traditional Rider-Waite deck. I have decks based on it, but I don't have like a traditional Rider-Waite. It's not my thing. I don't like the art style. But the card is about taking a rest. Usually the person is laying there with their eyes closed. This one in the Epic Tarot, if you can see, is also about taking a rest. So you can see this person's laying here. You can see they're wearing armor. Their helmet is over here. Their shield is over here. And they appear to be trying to find a not so comfy place to rest. Maybe they fought a hard battle recently and they're at their limits, right? If you also pay attention here, they're clutching their sword still. So they are keeping it nearby if they need it. But they are trying to take that break. So that's what this card is about, taking a break. So the way I put that with the word master is you need to sort of like master yourself. So you need to know, when do you need a break? You know, when have you been running yourself too ragged? When have you been doing too many things? When are you at the point that you need a break? Or something's going to happen, you know, something's got to give kind of thing. Because once you kind of master that, that helps you with self-care. Self-care is so important. If you do not take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. So master your own, like, basically yourself. So that you know, when do you need to take a rest? When do you need to spend some time on self-care, you know? Hopefully you spend a little bit of time on self-care like every day. Because at least I feel like a little bit every day, you can go longer without like a big kind of self-care day. Definitely take those every once in a while though. So that's how I associate master with this, is we need to kind of master that part of ourselves and learn what's the best way to take care of ourselves. Okay? May Elements Challenge. We're still in fire. 6 days will be on the fire element. This one is where do I need less fire? And I drew the star. This is from my Mystic Dreamers Tarot. And again, the blog post, which will be linked below, let me move that so you can see, will have like larger, clearer pictures of the cards if you would like to see. So I see the star as a card of hope and like looking towards the future. That's what I see it as. So when I look at where do I need less fire, what this makes me think of is, you know, sometimes when you're looking towards the future and you're making plans and you're like, you know, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, and you can have so much passion for it, but maybe it's not realistic. for many reasons. You know, maybe you're planning on being a millionaire in a year, and that's not really realistic. Or maybe you're planning, you know, to work on this project and this project and this project and this project, but that's not realistic. Like, that's too much to take on at one time. So, for where do I need less fire in relation to the star card, I would say, like, temper that kind of stuff. Still have hope, still look for the future, most definitely, but make sure what you're looking towards is realistic. Make sure your goals, your hopes, what you're striving for is something that's actually attainable. Okay? Alright. Next, the major challenge. The moon. The question for the moon is, what shadow aspect is most challenging for you to face? So I have been looking into doing shadow work on myself. Shadow work and your shadow self, at least as I understand it so far, I'm still fairly new to it, is basically working on like the not so good parts of ourselves. And there's a lot of those parts it could be. It could be maybe you have an addiction. It could be, you know, maybe you know that you're like really passive aggressive and it's not something you want to continue doing. It's not healthy for you or the people you're doing it to. You know, so maybe that's like a shadow aspect you want to work on of yourself. Maybe you realize that you're very codependent. You rely on people too much. You know, there's a lot of things that can fall into shadow self from what I understand. And if you understand shadow work better than me and would like to give me pointers, please do, because I am looking to learn more about it, because I want to work on myself. So what I see as my biggest, like hardest aspect, at least I think this falls into shadow self, is I have a very low sense of self-worth. I always have. I mean, going back to being a child, really. I've never had a high opinion of myself. I've been working on confidence, and the older I get, the more that improves. You know, I'm gonna be 36 here in like less than 2 weeks, and I feel like my confidence has most definitely increased. But deep down inside, my own self-worth, I don't know that I've made any progress on that. And I can tell myself all day long that I'm worth it, I'm worthy, I am, you know, all of this. That by itself doesn't help. So, I really kind of want to work with, there's a couple of tarot people that I've seen recently that work a lot on shadow work. One is, I think, Kellyanne Maddox does a lot of shadow work. I would love to do a session with her. And when I have money, that's probably one of the things I will do. Because I'd love to get someone else's kind of outside perspective and, you know, what the cards tell them and such. So that's what I think that was the most challenging part of my shadow self, because I think it's a really hard one to overcome. Alright, my daily draw. I decided to draw from the Witch's Oracle again. This truly is my favorite Oracle deck. I love this deck so much. And I drew, I should have Googled this first. I think it's Ceridwen's Cauldron. Let's hang on. We're gonna Google this. How to pronounce? Let's see. Oh, you know what? It helps if I have it coming through my speakers and not my headset. Since I don't have my headset on, let's do this again. Ceridwen. Okay, so Caradwyn. So this is Caradwyn's Cauldron. What this is about for the Witch's Oracle is it's about, like, you've spent enough time, like, stirring that cauldron with all your ideas and such in it. It's time to take action. You know, what happens if you leave a pot of water on to boil and you never take it off or turn the heat off? It evaporates, right? You lose it, it's gone. And that's what this card is reminding us, is you've been working on those ideas enough. You've been stirring the pot enough. It's time to do it. Take action. Or you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose your momentum and ideas and such. So you may remember that this deck has an incantation with every card, and I love it. It's one of the things I love about this deck. So the incantation for this is a pinch of this, a pinch of that, all mixed and blended in the vat. No need to get caught in the undertow. Ideas are in place and ready to go. So there you go. Get your ideas going today, okay? Do it. Last, my journal exercise. Today, for my journal exercise, I drew the Empress. She's very gothic looking in this deck, right? She kind of looks like a vampire. I'm gonna go with vampire. I mean, she's in a coffin even. But then I could also see something like Banshee. Just because of, like, the coloring, you know? But I have a video on here somewhere that talks about my deck collection, and it talks about this one and how a lot of the cards in this deck are this blue. Like, they're all just shades of blue. Not all of them are. There's a few cards that are red, there's a few cards that are green, but for the most part, this deck is all in shades of blue, which I find interesting. And you can see, like, there's two skeletons with angel wings with their arms crossed on each side of her. Sort of, they look like they're part of the you know, pillars, but at the same time they almost look like guardians to her too, at least to me. So, the question for the Empress, though, that's what we're really here for, is when do you feel the most creative? I thought this was interesting, because I do like to use my creative side quite often. But I haven't really, you know how, like, some people will be like, oh, it's afternoon. Afternoons are when, you know, I'm at my best, I'm most creative, or, you know, at night. Some people, it's the morning. They're morning people. They're the most creative in the morning. Some people have, like, a playlist they like to play to kind of get their creative juices going and things like that. I've never really found anything in particular for me. I am creative. I like to create. But the only thing I have found is that if I am in a highly emotional state, like angry, upset, anxious, depressed, I'm not gonna be able to do creative. But I can be creative pretty much any time of the day. I mean, the other night I couldn't sleep, and it was actually due to anxiety. So you would think the anxiety would keep me from being creative, but the anxiety itself wasn't really that bad. I just couldn't shut my brain off to go to sleep. So at like 4 in the morning, I was doing some creative stuff. Like, I hadn't been to bed yet, like, because I couldn't sleep. I ended up going to bed at like 6 a.m. that day. This was yesterday, actually. I ended up going to bed at 6 a.m. and then getting up at 9 a.m. and somehow made it through the whole day. I don't know how the hell it happened, but it happened. So, you know, I've been creative at 4 in the morning. I've been creative at 10 o'clock at night. I've been creative in the morning, which is, the morning is probably the least common time for me to get creative because I'm not a morning person. I'm just not. I usually am up by like 9, maybe 10. Today I actually slept until 10:30, but I think that was kind of exhaustion from only getting 3 hours of sleep the day before. So, but usually I'm up by like 9:30. So I don't sleep in really late, but I don't like mornings. I feel like a zombie for a little while after I get up, like shuffling my feet and stuff. So mornings are the least likely time for me to be creative, but I've done it. It's just, For me, it's just more when the idea strikes. You know, things can inspire me, like a song, a YouTube video. You know, I'm watching of someone, um, reading a book. Anything can inspire me. Or I might just be sitting here at my computer not really doing anything and just get an idea. So when I get inspired, that's when I create. I just need to not be in like a really high emotional state in order for me to be creative. So that's it. I am going to let you go now. Don't forget, you can go to my website, mysticmoonreadings.wordpress.com, if you would like to have a reading from me. I would love to assist you. Check out my website for more information on what exactly I do with my readings. I consider it a form of soul coaching. Yeah, and I will see you in my next video. Love and light, and thank you so much for being here.